Hello, everyone, and welcome to Beyond the Trades Talk Show, where we explore the journeys and wisdom of business owners in the construction industry. I'm Amelia Smith, and each week I have the pleasure of sitting down with remarkable guests who are making a huge difference in the world through their work, their purpose, and their values. Today, I am joined by Kyle Northrop, owner of Custom Construction LLC, with a super inspiring story. He's a roofer who started out in the trade at just 18, and now he has built a growing family company. He's a husband, a father of five children. Of course, I will not spoil the deeds. So today we'll get to know more about his background, dive into his journey, and talk about the core elements of life that drive us all: physical health, sense of purpose, relationships, and of course, our work. Help me welcome Kyle.
All right. So
Welcome. It's so good to have you.
I just want to say I'm grateful to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. I'm so excited. So let's start from the beginning because this is super exciting. Let's start from the beginning. Can you tell us a little bit about your background? How did you get first started in the roofing industry?
Yeah, so I remember being young and one of my buddies was a roofer. He had a roofing job and his boss needed some help and he gave me a call and I started working there and I remember everything I do I just give it 100% and I was out there just tearing roofs off, not even knowing what I'm doing, just working hard.
Wow.
And I remember the boss telling him, this guy works harder than you. You're going to lose your job, And, I kind of kept at it for a while. And I didn't, back then I didn't see it as a career path, a career choice. But today I'm fully dedicated. I've been doing this 18 years now. And this is my life.
Wow. Wow. So when you guys just got started out, what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced and how did you overcome them? Especially since this is not how you had envisioned your life.
Yeah. So when I first started out, I guess the hardest thing was to sell enough jobs because I'm trying to wear all the hats. I'm trying to be the salesman, the roofer, the installer, the consultant, the secretary. I'm trying to do all of these different things. And I remember I couldn't sell enough roofs. I might sell a patch some drywall or some paint work or some carpentry or something like that. So I was kind of forced to take on jobs that I didn't really feel comfortable with or really want to take on, but it's built me into who I am today. Now we do, everything from, roofing, siding, gutters, windows, doors, soffit, fascia, you name it. We do it all because that's my background and that's what I've spent years and years and years perfecting.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I Listen, thank you so much for sharing that because I can see that you clearly have a lot of resilience and you definitely know what your purpose is on this journey. Speaking of purpose, let's talk about a little bit more what drives you outside of business, right?
Yeah.
What it is that, like, for some people, they tend to have a sense of purpose in faith,
Yeah.
or in God. Is
Yeah.
this something that you can relate to?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I always keep my faith in God, ever since I was a little kid, that's how I was brought up. I always put my faith in God when times get hard, I pray on it, and it really
Yeah.
helps. Another thing that drives me is my family. I wasn't born in the best of areas. I come from Rockford, Illinois. We're out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin now. And Rockford's just kind of a dead end. There's not a whole lot of opportunities out there.
Wow.
And I want it better for my kids, so that's what really motivates me and pushes me to get up every day and go to work and work as hard as I possibly can so that I can build a future for them.
Yeah, I totally understand. Like, even for me too, running my own business, like family, you want the best for your kids, especially when you were not given the privilege of certain things. You want to make sure that the next generation doesn't have to start from ground zero. So I totally.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So how do you prioritize, like with running the business? Listen, I
Yeah.
know it's hard. How do you prioritize your relationships with your family and your friends, all your loved ones? How do you do that with running a business?
You know what? I've come to realize that you can't. You just can't. You gotta focus on one thing at a time, and a lot of very, very important things that are close to you take a back seat. And it's really unfortunate. But in order to get there, in order to make it, in order to be the best at something, you have to sacrifice. You got to make sacrifices,
Mhm.
so if I can just, I tell my family all the time, we can live paycheck to paycheck. I can give you 50% in my business, 50% forever, and we can just kind of scrape by life. Or I can give my business 80% now, you 20% for just a few short years, and then those roles will be reversed, and the business will operate more by itself.
Yeah. So, what would you say is the biggest challenge that you have when it comes to balancing the work and your personal life? Because it sounds like now that right now you've prioritized the work because you're looking for a return in the future. So, what's the biggest challenge in terms of doing that prioritization? What's the hardest part about it for you?
Uh, Definitely missing out on precious moments and time with my children and my family. It's hard. It's very difficult, but it's necessary.
Yeah,
And I tell them, I put my business first so that I can put my family first. Because without my business, my family has nothing. You
yeah,
know.
yeah. I totally understand. And we always want to balance out. So I hear you are trying to put the balance in place with family. Right now you're giving a lot to the business, but what about yourself?
Yeah.
How do you make sure that you stay in shape, to keep everything moving physically, mentally? How do you do it?
I really don't know sometimes. Sometimes I'm so overworked and overwhelmed, and like it's like a thought in the back of my head, and I don't want to bring it to reality, so I don't
Yeah.
speak it out loud, you
Oh
know?
man.
Like, sometimes when you're working 80 or 100-hour weeks and you're thinking in your head, you're like, I really think I need a break, but I don't want to say that because once I say it, then I know I need a
It
break.
becomes real. Yeah.
Right.
Oh
Yeah.
man. I know what you mean. Trust me. I know
Yeah.
what you mean.
Yeah.
All right. So, are you even sleeping a lot? Like 80-hour weeks? Do you even get enough sleep?
Yeah, I mean, I don't work, that much every single week, but there was
Mm-hmm.
definitely a couple months, probably, it's kind of slowed down a little bit now that, it's starting to get colder and stuff. But just a couple months ago for probably, a month and a half or 2 months straight, I was working that, and it
Wow.
was just it's just insane, but I mean, I would never have gotten to the place that I am today if I didn't have that mindset and I didn't work that hard, you
Yeah,
know?
I understand. So now that we've touched on your health, we've touched on your higher purpose, your belief in God, and we've talked about your relationships. So let's bring it back to business a little bit. I would love to hear more about your current work and what your vision is for the future. So tell me what it is, what's your business's mission, who do you serve, and over time, how has that changed? Like from when you just started out, how has it changed to where you're at right now?
Um, I mean, I guess our morals and values have always stayed the same. We believe in 100% customer satisfaction and quality craftsmanship. That's number one. That's our goal. We will never sacrifice that for anything, no matter where we're at in our business. Um, but I don't know. I guess I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question?
What's your business's mission? Who do you serve? And
So
how has who you serve evolved over time since you started the business?
yeah, so like I began, our morals and values haven't changed. We serve Milwaukee. Our mission, I guess, is to grow as a company, be build our brand, become more aware, and kind of show people what we're really about. We're not just there to sell you something. A lot of guys are knocking on your doors, and then they're hiring this guy who's hiring this guy, and then once they do the job, they're gone. And if you have a problem, you'll never hear from them again. Us, if you want to call us at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday to come, because it's raining and your roof's leaking, I'm gonna be there. You know.
Wow, that's a lot of commitment. That's a lot of commitment, and I'm sure that that differentiates you from everybody else in Milwaukee.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of how we operate. That's how we want to be different from everybody. We want to show them that we care about the customer and we're not just there for a paycheck.
Yeah, and that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So what are the most fulfilling part about the work that you do?
I guess, seeing the end goal and seeing the customers, appreciate your work and, things turn out better than they expected, especially when they kind of give you free range to be like, do it how you would want to do it,
Yeah,
and then once we do it, it's way better than they could have even imagined,
magic.
you know.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I love
Yeah.
it. All right. So what are some of the goals that you have for the future? Like what are some of the things that you're looking to implement within the next year or two?
So I guess a better infrastructure. I would like to hire on more positions, more managing manager spots. More
Mhm.
project managers, people to make sure that the quality is efficient and everybody does a great job. There's no customer complaints. Kind of implement those
Yeah.
positions. Make people aware and build our brand.
Awesome sauce. Awesome sauce. I love it. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kyle, for sharing your story and your insights. One thing before we go, if you had one thing to say to upcoming business owners in not just roofing but construction, what would you say to them?
I would say keep your head down, stay out of the way. You know what I'm saying? Focus on yourself. Just do everything you can to build yourself. Once you build yourself and you're worthy and you're worth it and you know the roofing game inside and out, then go out there, try to expand. Get on Facebook, get on Google, build a website. Throw an ad or two out there. Pass out some flyers, and really try to build your reputation. Stand behind your work, always offer warranties, stand behind your warranties, and always put the customer first. That's how you build, that's how you grow.
Wow, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, that's it, folks. That's it for today. We're wrapping up.
All
There
right.
is Kyle, owner of Northrop Custom Construction. We can clearly see that he has a lot of passion for his business, for serving his community, and of course, loving his family and wanting the best for them. If you would like to be featured as one of our guests, please go ahead and send me a DM on Facebook or click the link in the description to schedule a connection call. Thank you so much for coming, Kyle. We'll connect afterwards.
Thank you, Amelia.